Hi Dhruvi, thanks for doing this talk, podcast, whatever we can call it. Uh, let's start with a brief introduction with where you did your high school from in India and all the education, bachelor's and master's that you did in the US.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Dhruvi, and I did my high school from Rajkumar College, and I did it in commerce. And then I went to the US, University of Denver, for my bachelor's in international studies and psychology with minor in leadership. And then I did my master's from George Washington University in international security and diplomacy.
Okay, so tell me if you still remember, because now it's been a long time. What was it like when you first went to the US? And did you always want to go to the US when you were in RKC, or at that time, was that your dream to go to the US?
No, it was not my dream to go to the US. It started with an abroad experience in France during my high school, and then it just changed into your father actually speaking
Okay.
with my dad and just giving him a little bit of hope that maybe I can actually pursue my education abroad. So your dad actually played a really huge role in my life.
Fantastic.
So yeah, and then that's how it got converted into. I mean, I always knew that US is the hub for international affairs. I was in the Model UN and wanted to pursue my career in international diplomacy. So just went with it, and the beginning was obviously very hard. But I feel like anywhere you go, it can be pretty much difficult. It's a new city, new state, new country, learning the new culture, the cultural shock, and new systems. So first couple of months were pretty rough. But then gradually, once you go out, you learn to be your own person, have some friends, like make some friends, and then get settled into that life.
Great. So let's go to the first university that you went, which is University of Denver. What was Denver like as a city? What was that university like? And maybe tell us what was your favorite building or favorite place in the university.
For sure. So Denver, very beautiful, super cold, and mountainous. So great sunsets and great hikes.
Very good.
Love skiing there.
Oh,
So used to be much fun. There was always something or the other to do, something to explore, activities and stuff as such. And the university, it's like a campus town because Denver is so big.
Okay.
So it's in the south of Denver, probably like 30 minutes away from downtown. And something that I loved there was getting into organizations because the school was 70% white, and Denver is a liberal state. So everyone tried really hard about diversity and inclusiveness. So yeah, so it was that. So the organizations were pretty broad and very diverse and inclusive. So that was much fun to like make friends from different parts of the world, and even cultural and ethnical backgrounds. And probably my favorite building was their Corbell School for International Studies. That's where most of the events took place. Most of the people who are the foreign service officers, similar to IFS here, came and gave talks, or the mayors did.
Okay.
So that was a good place.
Yeah, I've heard, I've been to Colorado. It's a beautiful, beautiful state.
For sure.
I've also heard that sometimes you get all four seasons in one day.
That is also
It could
true.
be sunny, rainy, cold, windy, everything in one day as well.
Yep.
So, when you were at Denver, what was your favorite class throughout your bachelor's, or maybe a couple of classes that you really loved? Could be from your major, could not be from your major, or any professors that you really liked.
Of course. So I think when you move abroad, I'll just give two. When you move abroad, there's a lot of identity crisis. That's the first time you get into the whole sphere of you are South Asian, something that we have never heard of before. And that's when you get categorized into that little bubble that you didn't even know existed. So there was this class for international students, which is mandatory, which talked about the circle of identities, which included definitely your ethnicity, but also socioeconomic background, your gender, and like multiple things, and that was the class that actually taught me that even if people keep on, categorizing you as being South Asian, you are a lot more. And that's when I was, putting myself in the boxes of like, where do I fit and where do I want to stay in? Because some of those things are, you're born with it, your religion and stuff as such, but you are things beyond it. So that was a class that I really enjoyed. And when it comes to my career, there was a class on political psychology, which basically talked about what leaders, like how a leader's background, how their upbringing make them take decisions that they do today. We studied Trump, we studied Shah, we studied Modi.
Okay.
So that was a really fun class.
Was there a lot of discussions on those classes and like people with different points of view? Did that make it interesting?
Yes, it's definitely that. The respectful disagreement.
Correct.
That's the biggest thing that I loved about the American universities. There's always respectful disagreement, and always more seminar-oriented classes, discussion-oriented classes. Pretty small. Most of my classes only had like 15 students.
Very small class.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on from there, or let's stick to there. When you were in Denver, what was your favorite spots to eat? Did you have like a favorite cuisine in Denver or something that you didn't try before and that you got to try in Colorado?
For sure. So I think one of the things that I didn't know much about was authentic Chinese food.
Nobody knows it.
Yeah. So the first time I was given, I think it was a Chinese restaurant that served pad thai, but it wasn't Thai, it was Chinese for some reason. And all I saw was like vinegar and oil in the broth, and I was like, I'm not eating this. There's no way I'm eating this. But like you expose yourself to things as such, and then eventually there was a restaurant that I don't even remember the name of it anymore, but there was a Chinese restaurant, and we used to have takeout so often. It became like our very regular spot to just like get Chinese from anytime. Me and my roommate would just be tired at the end of the day. So
yeah, that's good. And did you work part-time while you were at University of Denver?
Yes, I worked as it was the program assistant at the Alumni Engagement Center for the psychology school.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I did was help out with engaging the alums to volunteer and mentor the students in the psychology school. And the other thing that I did was as a peer tribe educator for the mental health counseling part of it. So used to give mandatory trainings to the first year students about how to be an active bystander in terms of if someone has overdosed, or like how to know your limits when it comes to like alcohol or drugs or something as such. So used to do that, and those were two of my jobs. But I was also earning by being in leadership positions with the student organizations.
Okay.
So pretty good.
Good. That's great. So now let's go to your second education, which happened in a completely different environment. So how was it moving from, quaint, slow, nature-based Colorado to like a fast-paced city like Washington, D.C.? So explain how that shift happened.
Yeah, so I always knew I wanted to be in DC. I was trying so hard to even do my undergrad in DC. Very fortunate that didn't happen. Very, very fortunate. Because the school I went to was in downtown. So we didn't have a campus. All the offices are next door. So you don't really get the coziness that I got in Denver. So I often tell people that like my move from Denver to DC had larger culture shock than my move from India to Denver.
Nice.
Because you're very right. The people in Denver are more open. Everyone talks about mental health like it's it's everybody's business.
Yeah.
And in DC, it's very politicized. The people are very fast. They only network. The city runs on happy hours, like
everybody's trying to climb some ladder.
Yeah, some kind of ladder. And everything's politicized. So was a very difficult.
Actual house of cards.
Yeah, actual house of cards.
Yeah.
So the first couple of months was like difficult to settle in. I think that was also a transition into a real world because I didn't have student housing anymore.
Oh,
Yeah. So I had to find a housing, have a guarantor, considering I was not earning full time, so nobody was, was ready to give me a place. So the first, I think it was the first month where I was like struggling really hard to like be like, oh my gosh, nobody told me that I had to open a credit card and how important it is in the US. But yeah, I mean, you have to learn to be an adult at some
Yeah.
point.
I always tell this to any aspiring student that although you are a really strong inclination towards to go to a bigger city, undergrad is always better in a smaller city or a town, because when you get that campus experience, A, it does not expose you too much to the city, and B, like it keeps you grounded, or maybe it keeps you like close knit more often, and you are also having a bigger space to walk around, because there the university is your whole world, right? Because you don't have any house outside of the university as well.
That's
right. So tell me about George Washington. Or let's compare that. Were there any differences in between the classes of bachelors and masters? Do you feel like a difference in the level or any way, or it's just like a natural continuation?
Now, bachelor's for me was like a piece of cake. Like most of the time, I was fulfilling the requirements of classes without having to put in that level of effort that a bachelor's degree would require.
Okay.
And I was doing it like while doing 70 other things, and it was so easy. And as I said, a breeze. But then moving into masters, I think the professors change. They are the active people in the workforce.
Okay.
So they're not just the experts, but they are like the right now senior level advisors in governments or things as such. And they expect the quality because they only have very limited time to check your assignments and things as such. So they expect the level of quality that meets that threshold. So yeah, the first semester of my master's, I realized how dumb I am.
Okay.
So it required, I think I had B's in like 3 of my classes.
Maybe you were in that phase of that I did it in bachelor's, so I'll do it in a very similar approach to us in masters.
And there's also a difference when it comes to the ranking of the school. Like DU, as much as it was a great school, also in the top 30 schools for international affairs, but George Washington was in top 5. So, that also makes a little bit of a difference. And then I was not in the headspace of like knowing that beforehand. So first semester I struggled, and then I was like, no, this is my aim. Also, the threshold for maintaining the scholarship increases. First, it used to be 3.0 in my undergrad, and in my master's, it was 3.5. And even if you lose a point, like it would just like go drastically down, and you would not just like not be in. You wouldn't just lose your scholarship, but also you'd be suspended from the school. So yeah, I got into the groove of like, oh, this is the learning phase. Let me actually learn now. So that's when I started getting into like learning and like, extracting the most out of the professors that I could.
Like the city, we've already talked about its hustle bustle, but there might be some things that really make you love the city or the university, which is very unique to its name.
For sure. I think when it comes to DC, there's 2 things that I genuinely love so much. Like there is so much of politicization that we already talked about. But at the core of it, everyone's just looking for a community. So like, it's so big, but so small at the same time. You would walk out and you would see 5 people and you would know like 3 of them. It's very tiny.
Yeah, it's a very tiny city.
Yeah, and everyone knows everyone. Sometimes it's a curse, but most of the times it's a blessing, especially in a very chaotic world that we live right now.
Okay.
The most amazing thing would be just walking and seeing someone else, and they would recognize someone else, and they'd be like, "Oh my gosh!" And then they're just like,
"Oh, you know her."
Yeah.
That would be like the Rajkot scene.
Yes, I do think that DC is very comparable to Rajkot for sure.
I think you did a couple of internships in DC, so talk to us about those.
Yeah, so moving from Denver to DC, I realized that I had not been as focused on my career as I should have been. I realized that degrees won't matter
Very good.
because in the US, it's only professional experience that counts.
Yeah.
So as much as I was in a hurry to get done with my bachelor's in 2 years and then start my master's, applying to master's made me realize that a lot of schools told me to not apply at all because they said you don't have the professional experience that we are seeking for. So going into DC, I was very clear what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that I have a head start to my professional career that I would pursue after my master's.
Okay.
So the internships were definitely part of it. So during my time, 2 years, I had consultancy and contracts and internships with State Department, Department of Defense, UN, and a couple of things that were also like Congress funded or Germany funded. So namely like Wilson Center, which closed down very recently because of the executive order, and the Bertelsmann Foundation.
Great. And how did you go about finding these internships?
So as I said, in DC, 80% of the time,
Your network.
yes, you need to have a job because of your network. So the good thing that had happened in my undergrad was that I wanted to go to DC so badly before my master's. So I bid for this program where I could go on a career trip to DC for a week. And they took me to all of the think tanks, the State Department, and other places. And that's when and private sector as well. But that's when I was like, I'm collecting cards and I'm collecting people's information and I'm trying to make a mark out here. And so that was the first time I was like, okay, in the professional setting. And then when I got back to DC, I tried like getting in touch with them and then applying to the positions that would be open and then referencing them to the people that I already knew. Attending events. George Washington had great amount of events.
Very good.
External events. So we would just attend the events, network at that possible time. And I know it's not easy to network. It doesn't flow easy.
Yes.
But the key to networking is basically you talk about things other than the thing that you want to talk about.
Correct.
And then you connect, you find one point of connect, and then you just keep on bringing it up again and again.
Yes. That's what I was telling some of my students, and thankfully some of them have started implementing. I know you don't like American football or baseball.
Yeah.
But that's what most people like to talk about. Like sports is a big part of discussions.
True.
So if you are not familiar with terms, nobody's going to talk cricket
I agree.
in the US. So you need to learn their sport. That becomes a natural conversation starter to lead to where you want. So you need to know some things about, even you need to follow politics a little to be part of conversation. You need to follow sports a little, right? You need to follow like the key updates going around. So that makes it a more fluid engagement.
I agree.
All right, let's do some favorites that you had in the US. So what was your favorite city other than Denver or Washington, where you traveled?
So I was in New York for a little bit. That was great. It's a bustling city.
Correct.
But I think I would say Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Like so many hikes, such a beautiful place, and again also mountainous.
Great.
So I'm not a mountain person, but I loved it thoroughly.
Okay, fantastic. Where did you have your favorite Indian food in US?
I'm gonna go with Houston.
Oh, not surprised.
Very big Indian population, yes.
Okay. What is your favorite fast food in the US? Like a name fast food brand that you go to?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
That's the craving.
All right. I'm surprised at that one. What is your favorite US holiday? Like, do you have a favorite festival there that they celebrate that you like?
I would say both. It would be definitely the 4th of July.
Okay.
Because it's summer, you're on the beach, having the bonfire and everything. And the other one is Thanksgiving. It's lovely to have all of these people come together.
Have you had like a specific good Thanksgiving experience?
So I got my first one in DC, and it was by a friend's friend that I didn't even know.
Oh wow!
And she was very kind. Like they were all hosting a dinner party, and she was very kind, and she was like, bring whatever you need. And the favorite of public is mashed potatoes.
Yes.
Yeah, mac and cheese and mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes,
Yeah.
correct.
So got mashed potatoes, and it was such a lovely time. They had like canvases and everything. So, it was all related to like some kind of Thanksgiving history. They didn't eat meat. So they had the cauliflower turkey.
Oh, wow. Never seen that one.
Yeah.
Last one. Which is your favorite US season?
Summer.
Summer. Okay.
Because
I'm
spring
happy.
and summer. Spring and summer, I would
Yeah.
say. Beautiful flowers. So, and DC
It
plants.
has cherry blossom as well.
Yes, but DC also plants the tulips all across the city for
Yes,
spring,
seen them.
and gorgeous.
All right. Is there something that you wish you knew before you went to the US that you didn't know, but now that you are here, you would like to say that people should be aware about these things?
I would say that there's a lot many things definitely that people don't know, but we're very young. So when you start out young, you have to understand that the first couple of months are always going to be difficult. And a lot of people from at least my generation have felt like they would leave because they would be homesick. But this is the life that you had wanted at some point of time.
Yeah.
So when you're out there, try to make that life. In whatever way that is, if it's making friends, or if it's like enjoying yourself, if it's education, getting the degree, or if it's building the career that you had dreamt of. And I promise you, any country in the world can be that if you actually put in the effort.
I agree. That's a very good thought as well. What advice would you give to students? When should they start planning for going abroad? What are the things that they should be very careful about, or anything on the application side? Since I know when we had many discussions, but
Sure.
anything that a student who wishes to go now should think about.
For sure. I think, like over here, we start in the 11th and 12th grade.
Yeah.
They start in 9th.
Very good
I
point.
think that was the point that I faced a lot of difficulties with, getting into the school that I wanted to go into, but not having the volunteer hours or enough of co-curricular activities, because we are very focused on academics. US
Yes.
is not.
Yeah.
So start early, as soon as like 9th grade. Even if you have a little bit of a hunch to want to go outside, start prepping then. And something that I would definitely advise on, like the thoughts that to have when you're deciding on a university or something as such, is it's not the name. It's never the name, because there's a lot many universities and a lot many places that are unexplored. Think about the weather. Think about the population criteria. Where do you want to fit in? Not near your relatives, because they will not always.
All the advices that I give.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and just think about the career. Like, is it something in the top, let's say 50,
Right.
and if it's a good city where you would like to be.
One of the final questions. What changes have you seen in yourself? Like the Dhruvi who went to US in 4 years ago, or the Dhruvi today. What would you say, or what would somebody who knows you, like your parents or your relatives, would say if they compare you to these two times?
I think there are two of them and can be taken negatively or positively.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Yes. I think the one of them is definitely I became more independent.
Yeah.
I am very self-sufficient, and I do not think that I was that. I was definitely dad's princess
Okay.
when I was going in. And it also came with the ability to be stronger. Like, I don't think that people realize how much of things that you have to do by yourself, like carry your groceries, and I was not able to do those things before. And very recently, when I moved to Delhi, the guy was struggling to get the washing machine inside my place, and I was like, you know what, leave it. So that was also like became part of that.
Okay.
And the second one I would say is like I became much more clear about where I want my career to go.
Okay.
Something that we don't see way too often here in India, because we have the like, oh, get the degree, and then the next immediate step to settle down is like a couple of years of job and then get married.
Yeah.
Which is very unconventional. I mean, it's normal, but like very unconventional when it comes to other countries outside of India. And going there, I realized what I want my purpose to be beyond settling down in life.
Correct. Yeah, it's very important to find a purpose that you drive your vision, your goals, your work ethics towards. Yeah, I think we've covered everything. Thank you, Dhruvi, for taking out the time. Is there anything else you wish to add as like a final statement about the US or about anything else?
No, I would just say follow your gut and let the things take you wherever they take you.
All right. Thank you very much.